Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all you guys out there. Here we have some more shit and nonsense from the feminist realms of stupidity. This silly bitch who's made a lot of money out of Disney, Keira Knightley, bans daughter from watching some Disney films. So here we have this harpy. Look at the amount of makeup she's got on her. Look at her sort of trying to pout, trying to, just look at it. Utter shit. The amount of makeup that's on there. I'm not saying I'm not particularly good looking, but with a lot of guys, what you see is what you fucking get. And here we have this bitch profiteering off men's ingenuity. Kieran Knightley says she has banned her 3-year-old daughter from watching Disney films, whose portrayal of women she disagrees with. Uh, Edie, Edie Knightley Wrighton is not allowed to watch Cinderella or Little Mermaid. This is a centuries old. Sort of Cinderella is. Little Mermaid, don't know anything about it. Don't give a shit. I don't watch any of that crap anyway. Everybody knows Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. We're going to hear more of that nonsense. Another silly bitch coming out again, talking crap. Knightley told the lesbian Ellen DeGeneres or Ellen Degenerate that 1950s Cinderella waits around for a rich guy to rescue her. Don't rescue yourself, obviously. The point. Look, there is no point in explaining this. The narrative of the film. Of the story and the way in which people lived during the period of Cinderella. Um, that you couldn't just run away. Well, not easily back in those days. I mean, it was a lot tougher than it is now. But anyway, she goes on talking shit. She said of the Little Mermaid. I mean, the songs are great, but do not give your voice up for a man. Hello. The actress added, and this is the one that I'm quite annoyed about because I really like the film. I love The Little Mermaid. That one a little tricky, but I'm keeping to it. Keeping to what, you fucking dumbass bitch? What can modern girls learn from Disney princesses? Disney's new princesses, Mona, whatever it is, won't have a love interest. Why not? Why not make it a lesbian love interest? Because that's what you really wanted to do. You want to produce. Disney seems to me wants to produce a cartoon of two lesbians. Let's get on with it. Stop fucking about and get on with it. I mean, I bet you here they put makeup on here. There's a little bit of makeup on here on this when she was doing the Pirates of the Caribbean because they always do that. Knightley, who starred in another Disney franchise, The Pirates of the Caribbean, said not all Disney films were barred from her home. Okay, so which? Okay, anyway, so uh, Finding uh, Finding Dory, which was voiced by DeGeneres, is a big favourite, and Frozen is huge. I can't even pronounce it. I think it's that one with that Hawaiian girl, isn't it, or something in it. Apparently says it's totally fine, all this shit. Uh, Knightley, look at this fucking nasty harpy. Uh, Knightley is currently promoting a Disney film of her own, The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, in which she plays the Sugar Plum Fairy. And then we've got Christine Bell, who played Disney Princess Anna in Frozen. Jesus Christ. I mean, I've never seen the film. I've just seen the trailers and a few bits something like that. And I've said to myself, nah, this is not a film I want to watch. But it was a huge, huge hit amongst the little girls. They loved this film. Has also waded into the debate on Disney and feminism. And apparently this bitch has a problem with Snow White. She told Parenting magazine that Snow White sends the wrong message about consent to children. Here we go. So, a story which was, I don't know how many old, this is quite old, Cinderella, long, long time ago. And she's probably saying we now should consign all these films that are out now, instead of just enjoy them as for what they are, cartoons or whatever, they all must be consigned, locked away. Look at the kind of shit that they bring out with Wreck-It Ralph. Right, okay. She spoke about her daughters. Jesus Christ. This is the name she's given her daughters. Lincoln, 5, and Delta, 3. So she's given two girls boys' names. Or, Lincoln and then Delta, which you would say would normally go for, would be, a boy's name. 3, and said, every time we close Snow White, I look at my girls and ask, don't you think it's weird that Snow White didn't ask the old witch why she needed to eat the apple? Or where she got that apple? She added, don't you think that it's weird that the prince kisses Snow White without her permission? Because you cannot kiss somebody if they're sleeping. Why do you bloody bother to read this? I suppose it's part of her indoctrination to teach her daughters about feminism, and that's why she gave her two daughters boys' names, because she really. How did this woman get? Who is she married to? Is she still married to this guy? Why are men marrying these kinds of shitty bitches? Really? Why? Why are you marrying these kind of nasty harpies? Disney's more recent representation of heroines now include the trailer for Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2, which comes out in November and includes Belle's Frozen character Anna. It features a joke between one of the newest Disney princesses, I can't pronounce that, I'm not going to bother, and the likes of Alice, Sleeping Beauty, and Pocahontas. Rapunzel. So these are all women, female, sorry, characters in various stories. Rapunzel sarcastically says to Van Elpo, I can't pronounce it. Do people assume all your problems got solved because a big, strong man showed up? And she replies, yes. What is up with that? The scene also features some of the most recent additions to the Disney princess world. Now, the thing is, this is, again, this is, listen to this. Do people assume all your problems got solved because a big, strong man showed up? This is another not consistent knock at the male persona, if that's the correct word. This consistent hatred, every day you see it. It comes out every day, more and more. You know, the feminists are really winning this war because they're standing up with style, you know, and just going full out, accusing people. Look at the Brett Kavanaugh situation. A demented mental bitch comes out talking in a baby, squeaky language, knowing clearly what she's doing, but it just looks just unbelievably. You know, every man and his dog could see that this was a performance, and she's not going to she's not going to chase this through because she's now going to make millions out of this. Millions. 51 years of age, she's well secured now until she passes away, and you know it's the whole thing's just a load of shit. Donald Trump has made the statement that it's a very difficult time for young males in American society today. Very difficult time. Men, if you've got boys, you need to be doing the same as what this silly Christine Bollocks, whatever her name is doing with her daughters. You need to make sure that you train your sons to understand the dynamics of the nonsense that is what is going on in the gender wars today. Today, when there's in the UK there was I don't know if it's still going. I'm not sure. There was some guys who were, I think they would call themselves fathers need, sorry, children need fathers. I think that's the name of the group. And these were guys who were going around the country doing certain stunts to draw attention to their plight of the family court system, and they were not getting access to their children correctly, and the amount of money that they were paying out as well, you know, for this nonsense. This has been going on for years, and we didn't understand it. I think they must have been there was a stunt they did. I think it was in as it late nineties into the 2000s, where the one stunt I remember was at Buckingham Palace. One of them actually got into the grounds, onto the balcony at Buckingham Palace. I mean, it was or somewhere within the grounds of Buckingham Palace. It was huge. It was People were berating them left, right, and centre. These guys are lunatics. They're mentally ill. But no, these guys are desperate because they were obviously divorced and they weren't getting the proper access to their children that they were entitled to. So they felt the need to do these things to keep drawing attention or in the hope that the government would change its stance. But as everything happens in this world, it can take a long, long time for things to change. They were non-violent, never caused any problem to anybody, but they did stunts, little stunts here and there, and to draw attention to their situation. And I think a lot of people just saw them as sickos, mentally ill, sad men. Get on with your life. Because the reason is that we've had this. The woman is the one that looks after the child. No matter how bad the woman is, the woman is best to look at the child. Even though it's come to many instances, many where children have died at the hands of the mother. They've died at the hands of the mother. Even when people say, don't give the children back to the mother or the child or whatever, because the mother is unstable. So they've been, campaigning. I mean, let me give you an example. A friend of mine had taken his son out, and it was his time to bring. It was time to bring. It was on a Sunday, so he had him from the Friday, Saturday, and he had to bring him back by a Sunday. So he had him at the weekend, um, and even though he wanted more time, um, he had him at the weekend. So she was obviously pissed because she wanted her son during the weekend, but she had to hand him over because it was his turn to have the child. Even though she's got the child for the rest of the week, to hand over the child just for the weekend, the odd one or two, and this is a guy who wanted to have access to his son, on a regular basis, all the time. He wanted half and half, but he got it, I think twice a weekend within the month, or whatever arrangement. Anyway, the point was he was 5 minutes late due to traffic or whatever issue was, and he apologized. Look, I'm sorry. She said, I'm going to take this to court. You are late. This is outrageous. You're late. You should have been here at 5 o'clock. You're 5 minutes late. He said, listen, there's no harm done. I'm here. The kids. No, she was not having this. She was going to try to go back to court to stop him from having any more visitation rights. This is his son. Where did she think, was going to happen with the father? This is the kind. But you know what? She enjoyed the power that she had in that situation. And this is a power issue with women. This is all pure. 80% of divorce cases, the woman gets the child. The other 20% is probably due to the fact maybe, I don't know, maybe the mother is so terribly bad that's how she's lost the children. I don't know. But the point is, 80% of divorce cases ends with the mother getting the child. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. So the notion of deadbeat dad was coined at men who refuse to be part of the nonsense and the shit. Why should they hand over their money to a woman who is not going to allow them to access to their children? Oh, but it's your child. You produced it, so you need to you need to pay towards the child. Yet you don't get to see the money that you're putting in towards that child. You don't get to have the proper access that you require. Not some guys don't really want to have to set. They go off and set up another family, and it becomes difficult for them to keep in contact with that particular child, and that's where maybe a few of the problems occur. But there are others who say, you know what, especially they just up and just go somewhere else and they just leave. They just suddenly one day they just had enough. They're not going to get involved. And these guys are seen as deadbeat dads. Yet you get a woman who had very little before, gets to know a particular person who has a reasonable amount of money. Instead of the child being assessed, what does the child need? This is what they need. They expect some of these stars now are having to pay. I heard one guy's paying 30 grand a month, or expected to pay 30 grand a month. Yet when they were together, the child's needs were being met with 5,000. Why does he have to pay an extra 25,000? It doesn't make sense. Why do you have to pay any extra to the upkeep of the child? That money is being paid to the wife. She doesn't have to, but the ex-wife, so she doesn't have to go out to work. She can lounge at home or do whatever she wants, while he continues to earn the money, and she can do whatever she wants with that cash, it should be purely for the child, and only for the child. All this is nonsense. All this is just rubbish and nonsense. The scene, getting back to, I've waffled on a bit. The scene also features some of the most recent additions to the Disney princess world, including Mirinda from Brave, Ellis from Frozen, and the 21st century version of Tina from The Princess and the Frog. These films, alongside Tangled, which is a new look at the story of Rapunzel, have taken strides to move away from the cliche joked about in the Wreck-It Ralph trailer, and to create films with strong female protagonists. So perhaps if Kieran and Christine are looking for a film suited to their feminist credentials, then these new Disney films might tick a few boxes. Gentlemen, listen, you have got to start looking after yourselves. These women are not worth the hassle. Honest to God, they're not worth the hassle. They're not worth dealing with, But the trouble is, until you see, you know what the problem is? Men don't get together in the same way as women do. But it will happen. The MGTOW movement will grow bigger and stronger because of the internet. More and more young men will learn about MGTOW and the rules and the regulations, and they will have the support. 80% of male suicides out there, 80% are male suicides. What's being done about that? The mental health of young men? Nothing. Nothing. The suicide of women was supposedly high. That's now is down to 20%. They're happy. It doesn't matter. University places 60% of women, 40% of men. They're happy with that. 93% of workplace deaths are men. Not a problem. As long as it doesn't affect women, they're happy. You see, white women are the most privileged class of people on this planet. I'm talking about Western white women. The number one most privileged of all these women are American white women. Period. They are the ones that benefit from affirmative action more than anybody else on this planet. They're the ones that benefit from it. So, young men, this is what's happening in this society, and it's not stopping. Every day you wake up, you're going to see this kind of shit, this kind of nonsense, because they want to eat away at your soul. They want you to slowly go mental. That's what they're hoping. But you see, the thing is, men are strong, both physically and mentally. Men are strong because we men would not have got to this stage today with all the facilities that we have, all the cures that are getting better and better. One day there will be a cure for cancer. One day we'll be on other planets of this in our solar system. You know, but will it truly be a great time for males? I would personally love to see a planet just for geezers, just for dudes, with in the same scenario as what's it called, Blade Runner, where you've got sort of organic female androids. That's the future for men, because the women that are out today are not worth fucking shit. Are not worth fucking shit. These two bitches, Kylie, Kylie and Kyra, I can't remember her stupid name, and this bitch here have made a lot of money out of Disney. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Bitches. Total bitches. Anyway, I've said my say. Spread it around, geezers. Always make sure you look after number one, yourself. Marriage is for idiots. Do not get married. Thanks for listening.